Welcome to Timeless Wisdom, where we explore the profound guidance of the Quran. Today, we're going to be exploring what makes this book so unique. Its nature as a divine and preserved scripture, a beacon of truth for all humanity.
It's incredible how the Quran, right from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2, asserts itself as the book. This distinction highlights its significance not just as words to be read and memorized, but as a living source of wisdom meticulously preserved in its written form.
It's fascinating how this duality makes it accessible to everyone. You can hold the Quran, engage with its physical form, and yet it's also this dynamic source of wisdom that speaks to you on a deeper level.
Precisely. And this accessibility is beautifully intertwined with its universality. Unlike scriptures revealed to specific groups or for particular eras, the Quran is intended for all humanity for all times.
That's a powerful statement. It means the Quran's message transcends cultural and temporal boundaries. So while the scriptures of prophets like Noah, Abraham, or Moses were directed to specific audiences, the Quran, as the final revelation, speaks to everyone everywhere.
Absolutely. And Surah Al-Araf, verse 157, even prophesies the coming of Prophet Muhammad in his book, highlighting the Quran's role as the final complete message for mankind. It's like the culmination of all previous revelations, perfecting and completing the message for all time.
This idea of the Quran as a universal message for all time really makes you think. But how can we be sure it's remained true to its original form?
That's where the concept of divine preservation comes in. What's remarkable is that God in Surah Al-Hijr, verse 9, promises to protect the Quran from any alteration, he states. Indeed, it is we who have sent down the reminder, and indeed it is we who will preserve it. This divine guarantee ensures that the guidance within the Quran remains pure, a beacon of truth for those seeking it.
This divine protection is reassuring. In a world that's constantly changing, knowing that there's a source of unchanging truth is incredibly comforting.
It is indeed. And the Quran doesn't shy away from declaring its miraculous nature. Its style, scientific and historical accuracy, and its ability to continuously reveal new insights are beyond human capacity.
So it's not just a historical document, but a living text that transcends time and place. A text that continues to speak to us in relevant ways, even centuries after its revelation.
Exactly. And that's a testament to its divine origin. The Quran even challenges humanity and jinn to produce even a single verse like it. It's an open challenge, highlighting the uniqueness and inimitability of the Quranic language and style.
This challenge to replicate even a single verse is fascinating. It prompts a deeper engagement with the Quran, urging us to ponder its miraculous nature.
You're absolutely right. And it's not just an intellectual exercise. The Quran isn't just an abstract book. It provides clear guidance and warnings designed to guide humanity towards paradise and warn against straying from the path.
So it's a practical guide for leading a fulfilling life. Could you elaborate on that?
Of course. Verses 18.1 to 2 explicitly state the Quran's purpose, highlighting God's mercy in providing a clear path towards salvation. And because it's divinely protected, we can trust that the path it lays out remains true and unchanging, even amidst the complexities of our modern world. This brings us to another essential point, the Quran's unwavering affirmation of God's oneness.
That's a fundamental concept in Islam, isn't it? There is no deity except God, as emphasized in verse 3.1 through 3. It's intriguing how this core principle present in earlier scriptures is reasserted and clarified in the Quran.
Precisely. The Quran doesn't just state this truth. It presents arguments and evidence to support it, prompting us to contemplate the profound implications of God's oneness. It corrects any distortions that may have crept into previous scriptures and presents the pure, unadulterated truth.
And that brings us to our responsibility as Muslims, right? To convey this message to all of humanity. It's a reminder that we're not just passive recipients of this divine message, but active participants in sharing it with the world.
Absolutely. This is not just a belief system, it's a call to action. We must spread the Quran's message and embody its teachings. The Quran reminds us of previous nations who conveyed God's messages, but strayed from them, stressing the importance of not only spreading the message, but also living by it.
It's a powerful reminder that actions speak louder than words, and the true impact of the Quran is felt when we actively apply its wisdom to our lives.
You're absolutely right. And, some might question the Quran's divine origin because it was revealed through Prophet Muhammad, a human being.
It's an interesting point. How does the Quran address this skepticism?
The Quran tackles this doubt head-on. Verses 17.9495 offer a compelling response. They suggest that if angels walked the earth, maybe an angel would have been sent as a messenger. But since humans inhabit this world, a human messenger like Prophet Muhammad was chosen.
So it's about relatability and accessibility. God chose a human messenger to deliver his message to humanity, making it easier for us to understand and connect with.
Exactly. And verse 10.1 to 2 further reinforces this point, highlighting that it shouldn't be surprising for God to choose a human to deliver his message. The focus should always be on the divine wisdom contained within the Quran, not the human vessel through which it was revealed.
That makes a lot of sense. The message transcends the messenger. But what about those who still harbor doubts?
The Quran doesn't shy away from addressing their concerns. In verse 2.2324, it challenges skeptics to produce a single chapter like it. This challenge to this day remains unanswered, further solidifying the divine nature of the Quran.
That's a powerful statement, a testament to the unmatched eloquence and depth of the Quran. But it's not just about the words themselves, it's about the transformative power they hold, the impact they can have on our lives.
Absolutely. The Quran's wisdom is timeless and applicable to every aspect of our lives. It's a guide for our relationships, our work, our personal growth, and our connection with the divine. It offers practical solutions to the challenges we face and inspires us to live lives filled with purpose and meaning. And one of the things that strikes me is how many of the Quran's teachings resonate with modern psychology and self-help principles. The emphasis on gratitude, mindfulness, patience, and forgiveness. These are all concepts that are being rediscovered and embraced by contemporary thinkers.
That's a fascinating observation. You're right, there are so many parallels between Islamic teachings and modern psychology. It's like they're both pointing towards the same truths about human nature and well-being.
Precisely. For instance, the Quran emphasizes the importance of self-reflection and introspection. It encourages us to examine our thoughts and actions, to understand our motivations and strive for self-improvement. This concept of self-awareness is a cornerstone of many therapeutic approaches today.
It's incredible how these ancient teachings are so relevant to our modern lives. It's like the Quran already had a grasp of the principles that we're only now beginning to understand through scientific research and psychological studies.
Exactly. And the Quran's emphasis on seeking knowledge is incredibly relevant in today's world. We live in an age of information overload, but the Quran encourages us to not just consume knowledge, but to actively seek it, to question, to analyze, and to use it for the betterment of ourselves and our communities.
So it's not just about passively absorbing information, but about actively engaging with knowledge, critically evaluating it and applying it in a way that benefits both ourselves and society as a whole.
You've got it. The Quran doesn't shy away from encouraging critical thinking. It invites us to ponder the wonders of creation, to contemplate the meaning of life, and to use our intellect to understand God's signs.
It's about cultivating a curious and inquisitive mind, a mind that is constantly seeking to learn, to grow, and to deepen its understanding of the world around us.
Precisely. And it's not about blind faith, but an informed and reasoned belief, one that is strengthened through exploration, reflection, and engagement with the world around us. And that's what makes the Quran so incredibly empowering.
It provides a framework for understanding our place in the universe, for navigating the complexities of life, and for cultivating a deep and meaningful connection with the divine.
You've captured it beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's not just about personal growth, but also about contributing to a just and compassionate society. The Quran emphasizes social responsibility, urging us to care for the poor and needy, to stand up for justice, and to strive for peace and harmony in our communities.
It's a reminder that our faith is not just about our personal relationship with God, but also about our responsibility to our fellow human beings and to the world around us.
Exactly. The Quran's teachings extend beyond the individual, calling us to be active agents of positive change in the world. It's a holistic approach to life, one that encompasses our spiritual, mental, emotional, and social well-being.
It's this beautiful tapestry of guidance woven together with threads of wisdom, compassion, and practical advice. And what's amazing is that it's all accessible to us within the pages of the Quran.
And you know, one of the most powerful aspects of the Quran is its ability to inspire hope and resilience, even in the face of adversity. It reminds us that difficulties are a part of life, but that with faith, perseverance, and trust in God, we can overcome any obstacle.
That's such a powerful message, especially in today's world where we face so many challenges and uncertainties. How can we tap into that resilience that the Quran speaks of?
It starts with a shift in perspective. The Quran encourages us to view challenges as tests, as opportunities to strengthen our faith and deepen our connection with God. It's not about denying the difficulty, but about reframing our understanding of it.
So it's about seeing the challenges as stepping stones on our spiritual journey, as opportunities for growth and refinement.
You've got it. And the Quran provides us with concrete strategies for coping with stress and anxiety, for finding peace in the midst of chaos, and for cultivating a sense of gratitude even when things are tough.
Could you share some examples of these strategies? What practical steps can we take to cultivate that resilience and find peace in the midst of difficulty?
One of the most fundamental practices is prayer. The Quran teaches us the importance of turning to God in times of need, of seeking refuge in Him, and of pouring out our hearts to Him. It's about acknowledging our human limitations and seeking divine support.
So it's about surrendering our worries and anxieties to a higher power, trusting that we are not alone in our struggles and that we have a source of strength and guidance to rely on.
Exactly. And another powerful practice is cultivating gratitude. Even in the midst of difficulty, there are always blessings to be counted, things to be thankful for. Focusing on those blessings, appreciating the good in our lives, can shift our perspective and bring a sense of peace and contentment.
It's about training our minds to focus on the positive, to appreciate the gifts that we often take for granted, and to find joy in the simple things.
You're absolutely right. And remember, the Quran also emphasizes the importance of patience and perseverance. It reminds us that we will face trials and tribulations, but that with faith, resilience, and a positive outlook, we can overcome any obstacle.
So it's about embracing the journey, understanding that challenges are inevitable, but that they are also opportunities for growth, for strengthening our character, and for deepening our connection with God.
Beautifully said. It's about trusting in the process, knowing that even in the midst of difficulty, God is with us, guiding us, supporting us, and ultimately leading us to a place of greater strength and understanding.
It's like a compass, pointing us towards a path of righteousness,
Right.
a path of compassion, a path of connection with something far greater than ourselves.
Exactly. And that purpose, that connection to something far greater than ourselves is what gives our lives meaning and direction. It's what allows us to move through the world with a sense of purpose, knowing that our actions have value and that we are contributing to something meaningful.
It's like finding our place in the grand tapestry of life, knowing that we're not just here to exist, but to make a difference, to leave a positive mark on the world.
Beautifully said. And it's not always easy to find that sense of purpose, to stay connected to our values in a world that often seems chaotic and overwhelming.
It can be challenging to stay grounded in our purpose when we're faced with so many distractions, temptations, and pressures. But the Quran offers guidance and support, reminding us that we're not alone on this journey.
Absolutely. The Quran teaches us about the importance of prayer, of seeking guidance from God, of surrounding ourselves with supportive communities, and of constantly striving to align our actions with our purpose.
It's about recognizing that we need support, that we need guidance, that we need to cultivate a connection with the divine in order to stay true to our purpose.
You've got it. And it's through that constant striving, through that commitment to living a life of purpose, that we can truly find fulfillment and make a lasting impact on the world.
It's about living with intention, with a sense of direction, and with a heart that is aligned with our values and our purpose.
As we've delved into these teachings today, one thing that stands out to me is how the Quran addresses the human condition with such profound insight and compassion. It recognizes our struggles, our weaknesses, our capacity for both good and evil.
It's like it understands us better than we understand ourselves sometimes. It speaks to the depths of our human experience, to our hopes and fears, our aspirations and our flaws.
Exactly. And in recognizing our humanness, the Quran also offers us a path to redemption, a way to overcome our weaknesses, to seek forgiveness for our mistakes, and to continually strive to become better versions of ourselves.
It's a powerful message, especially for those of us who might be struggling with guilt or shame over past mistakes. The Quran reminds us that God is infinitely merciful and forgiving, and that His love for us is unconditional.
That's a beautiful truth to hold on to. It's a reminder that no matter what we've done or what's been done to us, we can always turn to God for forgiveness and healing.
It's about releasing the burden of the past, letting go of guilt and shame, and embracing the possibility of a fresh start, a new beginning.
And it's not just about receiving forgiveness, but also about extending forgiveness to others. The Quran teaches us that holding on to anger and resentment only hurts us in the end, and that true strength lies in letting go and choosing compassion.
Forgiveness is a powerful act of both self-love and love for others. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and choosing to break the cycle of negativity and pain.
You've captured it beautifully, and ultimately the Quran's message is one of hope. It reminds us that no matter how challenging our circumstances may be, there is always a reason to be grateful, always a reason to have faith, and always a path towards a brighter future.
It's a message that can sustain us through difficult times, a message that can inspire us to live our lives with purpose, with meaning, and with a deep connection to the divine.
And for those who are seeking that connection, seeking guidance and wisdom for navigating the complexities of life, I encourage you to explore the Quran's teachings for yourself.
It's a book that has the power to transform hearts, to inspire minds, and to guide us toward the path of righteousness, compassion, and peace.
And for more inspiring content and practical advice on how to apply the Quran's teachings to your daily life, Be sure to check out the Broke Entrepreneur YouTube channel.
The Quran's wisdom is timeless. Apply it today.